Alright gamers, today we're going to check out Roadhog. Meet meet. Oh my goodness, look at all the traffic. I'm already getting angry just looking at it. As you see, the board starts off, you'll place these tiles. These tiles can be placed in any order that you want, and it will also tell you how many cars or trucks should be on there. As you see, these are generic diesel trucks and cars that you'll be moving around the board during the game. And how it starts is each player is going to get a colored car of their color, and they're going to choose 3 cards from the Roadhog deck. Now those cards include different things like driver cards, which can benefit you, traffic cards, which can move other of these white cars on the board, aggression cards, which really hurt your opponent, or reaction cards, which can cancel any one of these cards played for a player or against you. Now, as I said, you're going to get 3 cards in your hand, and you can play up to 3 cards every round. At the beginning of the next round, you'll draw up, get more 3 cards, and play them again. There are also some die. This is how you'll move around the board. 1 die is how much movements you'll have. This is a die from 2 to 4 movements. And then the next die is our traffic die, and it directs traffic for us. It tells us if we're going to be able to move one of these traffic cars up, down, left, or right, or swerve them diagonally. This is the only time you can move diagonal in the game unless you have a card that says otherwise. On the board, you move backwards, forwards, left, or right. You may never move diagonal unless you're on a turn. As you see on these turn tiles here, they have this little icon with 4 directional arrows pointing to the sides there. That's the only time you can swerve and avoid traffic. So you can only go diagonally when you're in the middle lanes of those turn tiles. And of course, cars can only go diagonally. The regular cars can when they have that swerve die. Now, other things you have a plus or minus. You can take away a car and put it somewhere else. What we always have a rule is because there's not enough cars for the game, there's not enough extras, if you're using all the tiles, that is. What we say is whatever cars they have passed on the first tile, that's the one you're going to take away, and you're going to put it somewhere here to really tighten up traffic and really make it awful for the opponents who are coming up behind you. The last roll is this one. If you roll a double, you may move 2 cars up, down, left, right. You can't move the same car, but you move 2 separate cars. Now, that also includes the diesel truck, because it is worth 2 movement points. So you can only move a diesel truck if you roll one of these, or if you have a special card that lets you allow more than 1 car. But this one counts for 2 movement points whenever you move it. These things are hulking beasts here and will definitely block up the road. Now, as you see, there are other things on the tile besides the turns I talked about. Other things that the tiles indicate is a toll booth. On a toll booth, on these 2 spaces, you may only go straight. You may not move left, right, or backwards. And then you have road work here, and you may never land on road work. You've got to move away from it and get back on the street. So let me show you an example here. Let's say I'm the red car and I roll these die. I roll it. Okay. I got 2, and I can add a car and put it anywhere. Take a car away and put it anywhere. Well, in this case, I move 2. I'm going to just take this car, move it here. That's going to be really wicked for somebody because now there's 3 in a row blocking them. And now I get to play any cards I want in my hand. And I can play these cards at any time. If I wanted to play a card before I moved, I could have done that as well. But this one says, player gains a movement, draws a card, and keeps it or plays it. Ooh, I'll play that one. So I move again, and I draw another card. It's a Sunday driver. I can move a car back a space, and then I can move a car back 2 spaces or move them over there. Well, maybe I want to move him back 1 and him over 1 for later on. But this allows me to move some traffic. Now, of course, I can play all the cards in my hand here. So I have this one. This moves me up and my opponent back. It's an aggression card. So let's say I had an opponent here. I can move, well, if he was right here, I can move him back and him up there. You cannot crash into other vehicles. If you cannot move, you just must stop and end your turn. There are cars that do allow cars to get wrecked, and a wrecked car may never be removed from the board unless you have this die roll here that allows you to. Now what you're going to do, all 4 players, or 5, how many players you're playing with, are going to try to make it around and through the traffic on the road to the exit, and they're going to be the Roadhog. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Roadhog. You know, when I saw this game, I said, man, that looks really cool. All the minis there driving on the road. The tiles are really nice. They have a rubber base It's almost like where the rubber meets the road. It feels like a tire. And plus they don't, move on the table as much. They kind of stick to the table. So I like that. The pieces look really nice. The game is very simple. This game is for children, okay? It's not for adults, it's for kids. I can't see adults having too much fun with it because after a while it's just play a bunch of cards, move cars out of your way. Most cars can be moved. It's very hard to trap someone in a traffic jam. But, for kids, I think it's a super lot of fun. I played it with my nephews and we had a blast. Now, as gameplay goes, play as many cards as you want because the heavier and crazier the traffic is, the more fun the game is. It is thematic a little bit in the case that it is aggravating to try to figure out the best pathway to swerve through all that traffic to get to your exit. I think that's really fun. I don't know if the designer had a great idea and then just left it as is, unfinished. It feels like there should be a little bit more to this game, that there could be more to this game to make it an excellent game for adults too. But for whatever reason, they came up with what they had and then thought it was enough. It's enough for a children's game, really good children's game, probably not for adults. I would not bring this out to my board game group. I don't think they would enjoy it as much. As kids go, my little nephews will definitely play this with me anytime they want. But if it looked like it was a game for you and it's not too heavy, you should try it out as well because there's nothing worse than being stuck in traffic, right? All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.